everyone. Avery's very tired because she just watched me work in the yard for 4 hours. I am exhausted. Oh my God. Well, not only because I was working in the yard, but because I just didn't sleep last night. I made the mistake of having some coffee at about 1 p.m. I will never do that again. It got to be close to 4 this morning and I was just about to give up on going to sleep, but I dozed off, so I slept for maybe a few hours. But it's a beautiful day. It's not as warm as they said it was going to be, thankfully. So I was going to work on my last book for the ritual show, but I wanted to get some of the leaves up. There's going to be more, but I like this view. I like this view this time of year when the sun comes in like that. It's so nice. So I can wait till Monday or Sunday, as long as I can send the pieces out by Monday. I'm good. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I wanted to kind of get at some of the. I'll show you what I did. So, believe it or not, this was clean. I had blown all the leaves off, and they're back. But I figure it's better to kind of keep up with them a little bit. So back here, I was just blowing the leaves all. I'm going to blow everything onto this bed. I'm going to leave those guys for the winter, see how long those kale last. And some of the tomatoes are still growing, but eventually what I want to do is just cover this up. And what I was doing is that I was mowing and catching the clippings and letting the leaves get kind of shredded up, and that's what I'm going to mulch with. I wasn't able to, there were so many leaves though, some of them I had to just blow onto the wooded areas, and I mowed down my buckwheat spirals, but they needed to get mowed down anyway before they went to seed, and that mixed in with the leaves, which was actually kind of good too. So I got this, but it was a lot of back and forth. I looked on my phone, look at how the leaves are falling. I looked on my phone to see how much I'd walked, and I haven't even walked Avery today. She's just been hanging out with me outside, but it said I walked 4.26 miles, and that was just from the back and forth, the mowing, the blowing the leaves, the dumping out the mulchy stuff, filling up my spiral here with mulch. But I'm going to try that this winter. I'm going to try as the leaves fall. There's still quite a few up there, but as they fall, I'm going to catch them when I mow. Not all of them, but a good deal of them. And I'm going to do a big leaf pile, compost pile back there too, in addition to my rotating ones that I put kitchen waste in. But so I did that back here, and then out front I mowed everywhere except the berm way out front by the street. I'm just good because that oak is going to lose a ton of leaves. I can't believe my hops are still growing, but it's warm today. They said it was going to get up to like 80, but so far it's like 73 out, and it's like 2:30, so hopefully it won't get that warm. And it's going to. Then it's going to get cooler, so it's like, yay. Oh, also the other thing I had to do is I had to empty my gutters. So I've got this big pole that I pull them, and especially if it's going to be raining. But I blew all the leaves from here, and there's more. And I mowed here, and all the leaves. I was mulching over here around my herbs, because it is going to get cold at some point. So I just figure I'm going to mulch with, well, this is clover, so that's good stuff. The clover clippings and the shredded up leaves, and then I've got to turn over that buckwheat that I've been growing. And my comfrey that I transplanted there's not doing too badly. I still have like a little bit of peppers to pick, and there's some green tomatoes. And I've got to dig out some of the wood chips from where they ground the stumps, and I want to put them here because I want to put a bench here. I want to make a nice little sitting area because this is like my medicinal garden, and it's going to go out a little bit more and all the way to the edge. And I'm going to take out those two azaleas, but right here I thought this would be a really neat place to be able to sit under the oak tree and just look out at the garden. So yeah, so again, it was a lot of back and forth out here with the mower and dumping the shredded leaves and the clippings, and then I blew my driveway because it was like there was probably about an inch of leaves, an inch deep of leaves on there. You can see all the leaves from the oak tree. Those I'm probably just gonna blow into a pile at some point. There's a leaf pickup, but it's not until January. But I'm going to use as many as I can. You can see all the leaves on my roof too. But so I clean this entire driveway, and look, there's more. It is a very Sisyphean task this time of year, but that's all right. It was good exercise. So I cleaned all this too, and I got 4 bags of leaves back there. And that's not counting everything that I'm just blowing onto the garden. So yeah, so instead of doing my cyanotype today, I did that because it's going to even get wetter if we get more rain. It was pretty wet already. My Japanese maple is starting to turn. Last year it started to turn, and then we got a hard freeze, and then the leaves just sort of shriveled, but we'll see how red it gets this year. I was saying this would be a nice place for a little bench, a little place to sit for tea as well. So that is what I have spent today doing. So now I'm trying to figure out what to do next because I'm so tired. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I want to put the Halloween stuff away. I've got a few little Thanksgiving decorations I might put out. And I will continue the book thing on Sunday because I think it's getting kind of late to print with any real good idea of how long my exposure needs to be since it's getting to be the afternoon. And I probably should bring in some wood because if it's raining tomorrow, it'll be good to have it already in, and maybe I'll do some vacuuming. I don't know. When I don't sleep, or when I sleep as little as I did last night, I start to get like a little confused. But it was an interesting, I don't know, I'd pick up my iPad every once in a while and I'd watch some videos, and I watch Jackie's videos because those are they're kind of like comfort food to me. And actually it was very helpful, some of the things she was talking about, because I found myself also yesterday going into a place of this kind of melancholy. And I was talking to my counselor about this the other day. I'm finding that I'm coming back and experimenting with experiencing the nostalgia of the past and appreciating it without clinging to it so much. And that's especially having to do with my marriage and my relationship to my ex-husband, because I enjoyed the relationship. I would have kept trying. And, you know, of course, everybody, when you go through a situation like that, a lot of times you don't remember the bad stuff, and you just remember the good stuff. At least that's kind of the way it is for me. But in any case, I'm trying to experiment with feeling the loss, experiencing the grief, but in a way that is true to the experience of the grief, but not clinging, not how shall I put this? Well, in some Buddhist practices, meditation practices too, I read one recently that actually encouraged experiencing a feeling, but not attaching to the thoughts associated with the feeling, and just allowing oneself to grieve or whatever the emotion is, and it kind of softens the relationship to whatever the feeling is about. And I'm finding that that's kind of true for me. I'm softening the way I view the whole situation and what happened, and not clinging so much. Before, it used to be a lot of grief and loss and clinging. I want this the way it was, and I'm getting to a better place where it's not so clingy. It's just, oh, this is a loss. You know, this is a loss, and it's going to take a while to heal from that loss. And moving through it rather than trying to move around it, you know, or past it, or something like that. And at the same time appreciating the good stuff, and appreciating what the opportunities I have now are. So I was kind of doing that last night, and I was experiencing a lot of grief, and I would just allow myself to cry, and then, you know, I would come back around and think about, you know, try to use my imagination for what I wanted to be doing in my yard or my artwork or that sort of thing. And I watched Jackie's video, and I felt a certain sense of camaraderie when I heard her say that she got through a little bit of a rough patch too, and I think she has a different way of addressing it. I think we all have to address how we do that, however works best for our own personal psychology. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. My emotions are, there's something that's softening, there's something that feels like it's healing a little bit, not always, but a little bit. And my counselor's always just like, wow, you know, she is so complimentary. She said, oh, you're so brave, and, you know, I hope you're appreciating, you know, how much effort you're putting out. And I've been telling her about my artwork, and she's just really good. And I'm trying to look up the website where she learned astrology. She's a shamanic astrology practitioner, and I want to learn a little bit more about that, because even when Jackie talks about it, I try to think about all the different houses, and unless I have something that I'm looking at, you know, what is in the different house where, and unless I have something to look at, it's not going to make any sense to me. But that's neither here nor there. So I think I'll wrap that up. I didn't want this to be real long. I just thought I'd do a little check-in and show you my yards, because I'm very proud of them. And I'll enjoy the rest of this beautiful day before we get more rain. Oh goodness, we've had so much rain. Yeah. All right. Take care. Bye.